This podcast is proudly sponsored by Ricochet Exchange, the best way to DCA. Listen to the end of the episode for more information. Hello and welcome. Today I have with me Vicky. Vicky, could you please introduce yourself?
Absolutely. So, hi guys, I'm Victoria or Vicky. I'm a community manager at Superfluid. Superfluid is an asset streaming protocol where we literally stream money every second. And I'm the one managing the community side of things over there.
Thanks for being on here. There's a lot of stuff that I want to ask you about. A lot of it is going to be about community, but I kind of wanted to get started with your journey. How did you get into Web3? Because it's a unique one from my perspective.
Yeah, so I was working in Web2 as a consultant and marketing manager, basically, and I had nothing like to do with Web3 in my professional life at all. So what happened is when COVID started, I built my own gaming PC because I was a gamer back in high school, and I stopped when I went to university because I had a shitty laptop and didn't have time. But then when COVID hit, I was like, okay, now I have more time. We all have to be at home. Let me build my own gaming PC and see if I can do it. So I did that, and that was really fun process. And I have a lot of like gamer friends as well. So we played some games together, and I started to stream on Twitch, like The Witcher 3 and the Fallout and all these like big games. And then a friend of mine, a really good friend of mine, was really into crypto and reading all about Ethereum and Bitcoin and all that. And she kind of crypto pilled me as well. So my first thought was, okay, people are making money with crypto. Like the interest came out of, maybe I can invest some money too and see what happens. And I was also interested, like, how does it work? Like, what is it? But when I went through like the rabbit hole of, okay, reading blog posts, watching YouTube videos, all that kind of stuff, like for me, it just all got very overwhelming. And for me, the best way how I can learn is I have to do something practical. I have to apply the knowledge somehow to kind of understand how it all works and make like sense for myself. So what I did is I found blockchain games and I saw other people stream them on Twitch. So I was like, okay, that's maybe one way how I can, interact with the technology and see how it actually works. And then I found this game called Axie Infinity. That was really big, like 2 years ago or something like that. They had like a lot of press exposure, and they were like raising a lot of funds as well. So I was like, okay, let me see what that is all about. And then I got into Axie Infinity, and when I wanted to start the game or play it, I had to make my first wallet on Ronin network because Axie Infinity is built on the Ronin blockchain. So I had to make my first wallet, which I did. Then in order for me to start the game, I had to buy 3 different characters for the game. And all of these characters were NFTs on the blockchain, essentially. So I had to add funds to my digital wallet to buy these NFTs. That was my first step towards, okay, making an on-ramping my fiat or like normal money to the blockchain. And yeah, I think it was like wrapped Ethereum or something like that. And then I bought my first NFTs as these Axie Infinity, like Axies they were called, like these characters for the game. And for the listeners who don't know what Axie Infinity is, it's basically you have like 3 different small characters. They have all like special traits and different cards attached to them. And then you battle against other teams. So it's like a strategy card game, basically, with like this little gimmick of you have these 3 little characters that are battling against each other, kind of like Pokemon, for example. But yeah, it's all on the blockchain. And when I bought these characters as for the game, I actually own them because they are NFTs, they're digital assets on the blockchain. So let's say if like after one or 2 days, I'm tired of the game, I don't want to play it anymore, I could just easily sell them on the marketplace. So that was like, really, really ensuring me that, okay, there's not as much risks involved because I can always sell them as well. And obviously, whatever money I put into it, I made sure that, I can lose that if something happens. So I didn't, make any huge investments in the beginning. But yeah, that's how I got started, and, just getting practical with all these different steps. And what happened was I started to play the game. Obviously I lost a bunch of battles and I didn't know how the game works in the beginning. But when I started to stream it on Twitch, I started to meet other people who played the same game. So they turned up in the chat during my live streams, or I went to their live streams and kind of asked them like how they are playing it, and how they are liking the game and everything. And there were people who were like having like huge taxi teams, and they were like renting them out to other players and making a lot of money actually through the games. So that was like really intriguing to me.
You know what? When I listen to you talk about this, because from my perspective, my interest in this space is mostly like financial. I like the idea of decentralized finance, but and I never really gave GameFi or the gaming NFTs any thought. But from what I'm understanding now is that they're a great vehicle to learn and to kind of get assimilated into this, like owning a wallet and holding these assets and building up like a portfolio. I didn't realize how good of a teaching method it is, and how you can make something that's kind of tedious and stressful fun. So it's really cool to hear that. I'm gonna have to give this a lot more thought in the future. Do you still play these types of games? Do you still are you still into this sort of culture?
Yeah, after being like full time in Web3 now, I haven't played as much as I did before. But I also know that there has been quite a lot of development within like all these different games, and there are like many like game pads or launch pads who are like developing new games. So I'm really curious to see where the space goes. And I think there are some big names out there that just launched their games as well. Like Illuvium is one of them. I don't know if they're fully out yet, but this has been talked about for quite a while. So I'm really curious where it goes, because I know it's not like very focused on the financial side of things, but like you said, it's a great way, like gamified way, how people can engage with blockchain technology and like get practical with everything, with all these different steps.
When I went to one of the Superfluid events, I believe it was in Paris. I think I met you there as well. I did meet you there, yeah.
Yeah.
One of the I don't know if it was a sponsor, just one of the people that were attending have a VC company, and they were investing in this NFT GameFi project that what it does is it essentially has like a bunch of different little like guns, like code for a gun, code for like a base, a character, and it's like a base model that can be built on top of. So they're building these like they're creating building blocks for this. And what's really interesting about that is I like playing this game called Valorant. It's like a sort of Call of Duty type of game. And you can buy these like gun skins and character skins. But one of the worst things is that it's kind of locked into the account that you're in. So you can't, like, if I create a new account, which I've actually had to do at some point, I can't take my assets with me. And there's a lost opportunity in trading and creating an economy inside of these games. And I think that that's the direction I want to see GameFi and NFTs move in. It's a very interesting use case. I think it could. And sorry to jump around a bit, but with GameStop, one of the one of the leading companies in the US it's the leading company for video games. What I think they do right is they allow people to sell games that they've already played, to sell consoles. There's a secondary market created through these assets and it helps a lot of people. It brings more value into the community. So I do want to see that happening in the future. Are there any games or developments that you're particularly interested in?
I would say, first of all, I love that you're playing Valorant. I'm a huge fan of Apex Legends, if you ever played that one. So yeah, a funny fact there. Regards to like developments in general, I think what I'm looking forward is giving ownership to people for their assets, like you said, and not only over their games, but like the skins and all the different accessories that people buy, whether it's Valorant, whether it's Fortnite. Because what I see also like with my little cousins is like they don't ask money for like clothes anymore. They ask money for their in-game personalities and characters. They want to establish a persona online somewhere in their, people call it the metaverse. I mean, call it whatever you want, a game or a platform, but our younger generation already grows up in there, basically. And you want to make sure that, whatever people buy or own, that they actually own it. That's something that I'm looking forward to. And right now in the gaming community, like when you mention an NFT, people are scared, or like they don't want to hear it because they just think it's scam, which, actually it's not. But yeah, there's definitely some work to be done to kind of pull back the stigma around the technology and the solutions that it enables. So yeah, this is something.
I have to agree with you. It's crazy to see how much. So I have my little brother plays Fortnite a lot, and he always asks me, like, whenever it's his birthday or I want to, like, give him a gift or a present, I just ask him, like, what do you want? And he just asks for gift cards for different video games, mainly Fortnite, and he buys these skins and he spends hours a day on it. And I would say that that's an extension of himself, right? He spends so mumuch time in this thing that it is practically him, and he wants to be able to express himself through these games and through because the digital world is becoming more important every day, and the ability for people to express themselves. Like you see this with Discord. If you pay for the premium version of Discord, you can like have a GIF, you can have a colorful background. It's really important. People admire it. People like it. It's a great vehicle for giving people something to look forward to and a sense of character. So yeah, I'm excited about that too. I'm glad you guys are kind of helping with that. I know that Superfluid was sponsoring a wave pool program, like a hackathon, and a lot of people in gaming and NFTs participated. I even saw someone build a project using the Vandal gun, the Vandal gun from Valorant, and like the NFTs are the skins for the guns, and you can buy them by streaming into them, which is very interesting. It's good that you guys are sponsoring that and making that possible. I wanted to talk to you a bit about how you transitioned over from being somebody that uses these things for fun to somebody that works in this industry pretty much full time. Could you like kind of walk us through that a bit?
So basically, when I started to play these games and like interact with like blockchain technology and all these different features and do a little bit more of research, I knew that, okay, I'm really interested in this space, and there's a lot to learn, and there's a lot that I don't understand. So what I did was, I just started to like browse what kind of job opportunities there are, because I literally didn't know. Like, I'm not a coder, I don't have a technical background, but I come from marketing, I come from business, and I have a lot of people skills. So this is something that I have. So I was just like very curious to see, okay, people are developing these technologies, like what's needed, what skills are needed in this space, and how could I contribute in a way that I can at the same time learn and be fully immersed into this community. So I started to look around. I found Superfluid really fast, and also one of my friends mentioned them. a few times, and I was like, okay, what is this Superfluid? Like, what do they do? And then, I read about money streaming, sending money every second, which, this is a concept that doesn't exist in Web2 at all. So it was like really intriguing for me. And I just applied randomly through their online portal. I didn't know anyone in the team yet. I just applied just to see, like, okay, let me have some conversations with people so I understand what I need and what people are looking for and everything. And Superfluid also has a team in Tallinn in Estonia, where I'm basically from. So yeah, I had a really good connection there. So I just came by to their office here. I met Fran, the founder and the CEO, and I had a conversation with him. And then afterwards, I kind of understood that, okay, let me really apply and see how I can contribute. And then while I was in discussion with Superfluid, I also traveled to Denver. So that was about a year ago. I went to ETH Denver all by myself to the big conference there. I think it was like a hackathon and a conference. And I flew down there, and it was just huge. There was so many people. That was my very first Web3 conference ever. I didn't know what to expect. I go there, so many people, everybody talks about different things and blockchains and protocols and everything. Like, I was overwhelmed. Like, that was insane. And, I just went from sponsor booth to a booth to kind of ask, like, hey guys, I'm new to this space. Like, what do you do? Like, what are you guys all about? What are you building? Just to kind of understand what the space is about. And what I really fast realized is the community. It was completely global, everyone coming together, talking about the same mission and vision and how to create a better world together and collaborate. Because I'm coming from e-commerce and sales in Web2, which is very competitive, especially when you work with like direct to consumer brands. You always have this competitive mindset. Okay, how I can be better, how I can crush my competitors, how I can make more money. This is where I come from. So for me to see a space where people are very collaborative, very inclusive, just eager to learn and build something together, that was huge for me. I mean, yeah, back after the conference, I was 100% sure that, okay, I want to be there full time as well, and to network and find, like, just learn. That was my main goal. Yeah.
So you touched on a lot of different things here that I think are really important. One of them, and it's pretty early in what you were saying, is the superfluid money streams and the fact that this doesn't exist in Web2. I think that people are programmed sort of to think in terms of hours and work weeks instead of thinking about their contributions on a very like granular level in terms of seconds and minutes. And what Superfluid is doing there is incredibly important, in my opinion. It gives so much control both to the worker, to the person that's employing people. It makes this value transfer a lot more interesting and opens the door for a lot of different use cases, specifically with subscriptions that I was thinking about even a year ago. The fact that, like, if I want to subscribe to Netflix and I'm only really using Netflix once a week, why am I paying the same amount as somebody who is on Netflix 8 hours a day, for example? With streams, you could just kind of open a stream when you're watching and close the stream when you're done, and you pay for exactly what you consumed and what you did, which is, it's going to save a lot of businesses a lot of money, and it's going to save a lot of people a lot of money too. The other thing that you mentioned is the community aspect. So I worked a little bit in like traditional web jobs. I was doing like a health tech app at some point, and what I noticed is that there is zero crossover between the users and the community and the actual application builders and the people in the team. There's a big separation. you're focused on your job, and when you're done, that's it. This community aspect in Web3, where the people that are building are talking to the people that are using the app, and also the competition, and also the ecosystem. It's extremely interesting, and it is very inclusive. So yeah, I definitely agree there. Finally, you mentioned skills, right? Like, what skills are necessary in this space? How can you contribute? So I want to ask you, what skills do you find necessary in this space? What are the things that you are able to contribute to?
I think Web3 or like any kind of project here definitely needs all the kind of skills that also exist in Web2. Like for me specifically, I come with a marketing background, with like, doing budgeting, doing people management, team management, doing moderations for events, calls, having knowledge about digital marketing, how to reach the target audience that we want to target, how to go to a new market, how to create awareness. All these different things still exist in Web3 as well. So what I've realized now, working in Web3 for about a year now, I was able to cross over many different things, or many different like skill sets that I already had. Also, one of the biggest things is people management. We still work with other people, especially, as a community manager, I'm very facing towards everybody in the community, facing towards all the different people involved. So I definitely need to be on top of things and be a personal, like very personable individual as well, and have communication skills and all these different things that can easily be crossed over from Web2. However, what changes is you need to be on top of all the different technologies, and make sure that you're reaching the right target audience, because in Web3 your users and target audience will be different as maybe in Web2, right? It depends. It depends on the project, of course, but you just need to understand how the market works and how the users work. But yeah,
seeing that you interface with a lot of people, so from what I see, you guys have like thousands of people in your Discord server. You're also talking with the team and the ambassadors, and you're having a lot of conversations every day. Do you find any difficulty in that? And if you do, like, how do you deal with it, talking to so many people?
I mean, obviously it's difficult, since your DMs are full, and you want to make sure that you offer the best kind of experience. So you want to be fast in responding and make sure that everyone has what they need if they want to build anything, or if they need support with anything. But obviously there are instances where either you forget to answer someone, or forget to send something over, and these things happen. We're all human. But what I've noticed, what's like difficult or challenging, is that you don't always know the intentions that people have. Like, do they want to build and be a part of the community and actually are engaged and interested, or they just want to get some insights, when token and get like some kind of a personal gain, or just scam you. And in Web3, when I started, obviously it was like difficult to like kind of navigate through these like scammers and people who just send you like random stuff and random links, and like, how do you know if that's legit or that's not? So that's something that you learn along the way, I guess. But that was one of the things that I was like really like concerned about, because you want to make sure you don't want to get involved into a scam or anything. So
oh my God, it's sometimes it's really, I think that's probably, out of everything in our I guess in our career paths, the biggest issue is scams, both like for the people inside and for the people outside. because most of these people are very technically savvy, and they're able to, the amount of damage that they can do, the amount of like money that you could lose from clicking a link, or it could hurt. It could really hurt. So it's really important to know how to navigate that. But that comes with experience. Do you feel like you're better at it now, like this, like navigating through people's intentions, or are you still struggling with it?
I would say I'm definitely better now, since, I've seen how everything works. I've read about different scams and how people have lost their money, or how the scammers could trick you. However, it's definitely still something that I'm very much wary of. So let's say if I want to interact with an app or anything, I'm always like double checking, like, okay, is that the correct address? Is the correct site? Like, just making sure that I don't make any stupid mistakes. I just kind of built this security system in myself, I guess. And I'm very, very much more now, how do you say, like, I'm very loose. So when I already see some DMs that seem very sketchy and the writing is really off, I'm just not even, I'm just going to ignore it and block the account if necessary. But just, making sure that my community and myself and my team is protected of all the different things that come from left and right.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. So we've talked about community a bit, and it is one of the most important parts of this space, because everything is involved with being close to your users, being close to the people that are building. How do you cultivate a positive community? So like, what are some things that are important to have in a community to keep it like positive?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it really comes down to being the best person you can be as a community manager, and making sure that people in your community are supported in every way possible. Because essentially what you're doing is creating customer experience and making sure your customers are successful, like whether they are users or clients or partners or whoever they are in your community, maybe just fans who want to be part of something. They're still people. There's still someone who wants to interact with you or with the product that you have or the protocol you're working for. So just actually being there for them, bringing them together, offering them support, whatever they might need. I have to say here, like, our DevRel team is really, really strong. So whenever we have, like, our community is very focused on builders and developers who are building their own projects as well. What's essential for us is to make sure that if they're building with Superfluid or they want to build with it, that they have all the tools and support necessary to do that, and with ease. So that really fast responses, good docs, and making sure that they're happy to work with it. And then the second part is, making community calls and all these community events that brings these people together. And one of the biggest reasons why we also launched this ambassador program is to kind of really make sure that the active builders and active people in our community are somewhat like close to us and rewarded, and we can nurture them any way possible. And we also want to make sure that we listen to our community, what they want, what they want to do, what they need, what would be cool, what ideas do they have, and what would make their life in our community better. So it's a lot of this kind of relationship building, being there for them, supporting them, and yeah.
One of the things that I like the most about Superfluid is how it feels like a place that is very interactive. When I go in there, somebody that has developed products using the Superfluid toolkit, or somebody that has spent a lot of time in the community or participated in the wave pool, it feels like things are constantly happening, and I feel engaged. I never put a question up there and like it for 24 hours not get the response that I needed. If I yesterday I had a problem with something that I just didn't know how to do, I left a comment in the chat. Within like 2 hours, I had a response with the link and documentation about how to get whatever I needed to get done. And then as somebody who actually is in the ambassador program, I think that that's probably one of the most important things that you are able to do. These people that I have met, one of the people in this program is Berto. I think that's how you pronounce his name. So I met him in France. I met him in Poland. And he probably went to ETH Denver. He's very interactive. He's all over the place, and he was always talking about the program. So he's made an impact on me. He's made me think about these things. So I think that you guys are doing that right. You're doing the best that you could do there, and I'm a huge fan. So there is one thing that I wonder about, and it's something that I struggled with in my communities, and it's the time. So, for example, you probably work with people from America, people from Europe, people from Asia, and the time zones are completely off. How do you manage that? Well, what are some things that you do to keep people on the same page?
Yeah. That's really a tough point, I have to say, especially when you have this global community. I would say you have to be very flexible. That's the main thing, whether it's, your community is global, but also our team is global. Like one of my closest colleagues that I work with, he sits in Calgary in Canada, which is like, I don't know, I think we have like plus 7 or 8 hour difference. Which is crazy. And, sometimes when some project is going on or we're doing an event, we always have to think, okay, what are the main time zones we need to cover? And that's why I always say that, if it's very important for a person to work 9 to 5, then Web3 might not be the ideal career space, just because sometimes it happens that you have to sit on calls 9 p.m. your time or like 10 p.m. your time. It's just life, I guess. And what we have also done previously, and what we're doing now as well, is like if we have like Twitter Spaces or if we have some events going on, we might do like 2 events with the same topic, same kind of structure, just so we can cover as many people and time zones as possible. But it's always a lot of like back and forth with people and the community and making sure that time zones work.
One thing that I recently saw you added in the chats is the regions. So like there's a chat for different regions and people are able to, I think that that's a really good idea. I've seen people do it in the past without as much like volume, so I didn't think it mattered. But with your community, I think it's really good. It's a really good thing that people can go into their community chat and they'll be already on the same time zone and they'll have access to people that are able to better help them. It's a great direction. There's something that came up because we've been talking about community for a long time. And one thing that we all use is Discord. So I try to explain Discord to people that are outside of Web3, and some people that are gamers get it, and like, they kind of get it and they use it for a specific purpose only. Why is Discord such an important application in our industry? Do you like it? Do you find it like as a really good app?
Do I like Discord? I like, to be fair, I was using Discord before just for like in the gaming space, but when I started to work in Web3, I didn't like Discord at all because of all of these scammers, and there was a lot going on, and especially if you like follow 10 or more servers on your Discord, it's getting messy, and I was struggling with the notifications and everything. But once you get a hang of it, it's a great tool how to bring people together, because you want to have like a central point where you bring people so that they can connect with you and your team, but also with other community members, other people. And that's why, we also launched the international channels. Like my goal is to bring people together on Discord and then in real life as well, if possible, to kind of make them engaged, make them connected, and provide opportunities. But Discord itself, I mean, it's a lot to get used to if you haven't been on Discord before, I have to say. But so far, I haven't seen a solution better than Discord. I mean, I know that there are some new tools and platforms being built, and that's like more Web3 focused and more like user friendly. But the thing with Discord is like everybody is here. So it's really difficult to bring people from Discord to somewhere else. So this is something that we have, like, I haven't even started to think about yet, just because Discord works for us. Yeah, maybe in the future. I'm not sure.
At some point, it was like over a year ago now, but I did a hackathon with somebody, ETH Global, and we used Superfluid for like payment streams. What I noticed is, so we wanted to build some kind of Discord competitor, and obviously that failed. And it is true that it's very hard to get a hang of, and it opens the door for scammers and hacks. And it's because it's very, like, it allows you to do so much that it's kind of risky sometimes. But what I do think about it is that it offers people this like ability to connect, I think, on so many different levels. You have the group calls, you have the servers, you have the, like, you could control these permissions to create like different channels for different, it's a really interesting system. And for me, I feel like it kind of won in the battle of getting the attention of people that want to build communities. I've used it for so many things now. It's crazy. I hope it improves, though. There's some things that need to be fixed, especially the servers thing. They look horrible. Like there needs to be a better organization tool for that. I don't know.
Absolutely. But I would say, like, regards to Discord, when I went into community management full time, I was like, okay, yes, sure, I can manage a server. That's like no problem. Sounds easy. But actually, like, making sure that your chat, like, server is moderated, like, really, really well. And then, scammers they don't have any access or like ways to scam in your server. It's a lot of work to like build the permissions and build everything.
You could say it's a full-time job. It really is.
Absolutely.
So some questions about the future, and specifically maybe in Superfluid, that's what you're involved in right now. Where do you see your company going, and where do you see your role in it, like, evolving? Do you feel like you're going to be doing this for a long time? Is this a career that you've, like, I don't know, you fell into place with?
Yeah, I think regards to Superfluid and its community, I personally definitely want to grow the community globally, in a way that, we are able to create workshops around the world. We're able to create our own events. We're able to scale our community hackathon called the Wave Pool to us in a way that, we cover the whole world and people know about us and building on top of Superfluid. I think this is something that we're really focused on, to make sure we are very developer focused, builder focused. But at the same time, what I really want to do now moving forward is actually also making sure that we educate the end users about money streams. Like, users who may not build products or projects with Superfluid, but they are the users of, maybe getting their salary in a stream, or streaming subscriptions, or whatever it might be. I strongly feel that we need to be the thought leaders and the leaders in the space who educate people around that, because, like we said, it's a completely new concept, how you think about money in general, and how you can send money. And if you get a salary in a stream, like, what do you do with it? Like, how should you go about that? So this is something that we really need to focus on as a company. Obviously, we're building out these different use cases, like salary streaming and subscriptions and token vesting and all that. But I feel like, from my end, I definitely want to make sure that we step up our education game and make sure, like, people are aware what's happening and what we're building.
That's a very interesting point on the education side. One, it's not a criticism. It's just I feel like it's just a reality that a lot of these Web3 tools and protocols, programs, they require a lot of like knowledge that people have to get somewhere else. Like, how do you create a wallet? How do you get money onto the blockchain? Why would you be on the blockchain in the first place? This is all information that the user has to come with before they can actually understand payment streams and the Superfluid protocol. So it's a pretty difficult concept to wrap your head around, especially since people, like I said, are so used to the 1 hour, thinking about their time in hours and in weeks. It's a huge undertaking. When I was going through you sent me this link for the ambassador program. So you were trying to educate people on the different products that you are providing, what the use cases are, what everything means. And it's like a form that I have to go through step by step and prove that I understand what's going on. I think that there's a real opportunity for that to be implemented for the users and the people that are new to the community. An onboarding method that includes like wallets and Ethereum, and you guys can even stream to them as they're learning. I think there's a great opportunity there. And I do hope that you take that. Have you thought about how it would be implemented if you do try to focus on education more?
I haven't thought about the onboarding structure that much yet, but what I have thought about is building like a Superfluid Academy with like text-based content as well as videos. But because I feel like we have uploaded certain tutorials for devs on YouTube and all these different things, but it's very developer focused. So, and we are not really talking about the use cases. We're not talking about how streams apply to real life. This content is missing, and I feel like on one side, I agree, like having like a proper onboarding structure with like interactive quizzes and all these different things. This is really interesting, but also at the same time, like creating explainer videos, creating content that is easily absorbable and understandable and kind of applies to the end user as much as it will to the developers as well. Because in the end of the day, we all come from Web2 and we all have bank accounts. Not everyone, obviously, but most of us in the Western world, we do have, bank accounts, and we're so used to our, Web2 life that we really need to study and learn.
I don't know if you've ever heard of Gemini. I don't remember exchange and token. They have an academy, like the link is like academy.gemini. A couple, like over a year ago, I was looking into a lot of different things. For example, once in a while, I would notice that I have some random token in my wallet that I never actually like bought or got sent. And I go online and I try to say like, what is, I got this random token. What is it? And then I get a link from the Gemini Academy, which is like, what is crypto dusting? It's some sort of attack. People send you little bits of money to track your wallets. And they do this on like large scales. But going through this like academy that they have, I jumped from link to link, and I found it very fun. And like if I'm reading a 300 word article, and after that's done, they offer me like a lot of different options. Like, do I want to learn about this or that? I find myself easily consuming that content over reading documentation and trying to talk to people. So yeah, I do hope you guys push for that soon. Do you guys want to like make a site for that? Go ahead.
No, thank you for mentioning it, because I haven't heard about Gemini Academy yet. I will definitely check it out. We haven't. So my idea was to create a subpage on our website, something that's easily accessible for users, and like the user journey is like very straightforward, and also kind of divided between just general users and developers, because the audience is different. Developers may need a little bit more details. They want to study a little bit more on the technical side of things, and then the users might just want to understand what the applications are and how do what does streaming mean. So there are different, like certainly different content to be produced, and this whole project or idea, it requires a lot of attention, resources, and time. So this is something we are planning now, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we can roll it out step by step soon.
I do hope to see that. Again, it's a really good idea, and it's a very great thing to do for a community. The education part is like crucial. You mentioned one thing about, so now that your community has gotten to like a pretty big, it's a pretty big community. You did mention that you want to try to move towards creating in-person events and different hackathons. Can you talk to us a bit more about this? How do you start moving something that is basically kind of purely online into something that people can access in the real world?
Absolutely. So what we're doing now already since last year is we are sponsoring all these different in-person hackathons. So these events are a great way for us to connect with people in person and kind of onboard them directly to Superfluid and create awareness. So that's something that we have done now, and that really works for us. And on the side of the hackathons, we also create side events. Let's say if we are in Paris or in New York or in Mexico, we always try to create an event where we can bring people together to, meet us in person, see who we are, and that, there's actually real people building this, and allow them to connect with each other as well. So this is something we've done already. And my idea for the community is to create like different hubs across the world for Superfluid community, where people initiate such kind of meetups or like workshops, or, let's say if we have like a bigger community in India, like there are developers who want to come together and build a project over the weekend, or want to educate another group of developers about Superfluid, like that would be ideal. And we're happy to, support that and see our community grow through our community members, basically. And, be there to support and grow the protocol.
It's really wise to think about that network effect now that you have such a large community, and people are, you have people that actually have access to different, protocols in different places, and you've sponsored a lot of different hackathons around the world. I think it's very possible to do that. And one point I like to make is when you have a community, what you want to do is you kind of want to sprout sub-communities eventually, like all of these different people that come together, and eventually they'll want to do their own thing, and they'll be like a sort of a child of your company, similar to all of the different protocols that are built on top of Superfluid. So focusing on that is very it's good. I hope to see it like in practice, with sponsoring people and creating workshops around. I think that's a really good idea. I don't know. It's a very difficult thing to think about how to organize that in person, though. And yeah, I know other people have tried. So I don't know how. I just wonder how it can be done and how it could be reproduced. I hope to see some kind of like formula for that.
Yeah, same here.
Maybe you guys can make it. So question about money streaming. We talked about this a bit, but what are some use cases of money streaming? Why is it an important tool? What are your favorite use cases about money streaming?
Yeah, I would say there are many different use cases. Let's say, you can receive your salary in a stream. You can DCA to crypto in a stream to invest every second instead of paying or buying Bitcoin or Ethereum every now and then. And it enables for businesses or like projects to automate any kind of recurring payments or manual payments that they have to do. And for users, it just gives instant liquidity. So you have the money directly in your wallet. Let's say if you get your salary in a stream, you see the money coming into your wallet every second, literally. And let's say if you work in Web3 or you work in a project where you don't necessarily, or you haven't met the team behind, or you're not really sure the team structure, or whether you're getting paid for actually what you would contribute with. Imagine getting salary in a stream, so you can immediately see, okay, I'm getting paid now. Every second I'm comfortable of actually working for them, contributing, doing the work, because I know I'm getting paid, and I'm getting paid now, not like with a week's delay or anything, something like this. So that's one of the biggest use cases. And also any kind of recurring payments that you can think of, like content, not optimization, but monetization. Let's say if you own a platform, or you own your own blog and you want to monetize it, you can allow people to subscribe with streams and automate all these different recurring payments. So you, as a content creator, you get your money instantly from your readers. So this is also a big use case, but also a use case that's really cool in my opinion, and that has a lot of potential as well, is actually for games. So we were talking about GameFi before, and what we realized recently is that this is a huge space for us, because all these different Web3 games, they have some kind of an in-game currency, and they have in-game economy. And a lot of times, some of the transactions are recurring. And one of the ways to automate them is with streams. So there's this game called Planet IX. That's one of the biggest NFT games out there. It's a strategy game, and there we integrated with them. So what it means is, you as a player, if you want to rent out land and earn some more yield on your activities and in-game assets that you have acquired, you can rent out more land with streams and earn more yield, and increase your landscape and areas where you can operate. And you can expand your gameplay, basically. And for you as a player to do that, you just start the stream and everything works. Everything is open to you. And once the stream closes, it's you don't have that opportunity anymore. So you have full control over all the different payments that you're doing, and you pay every second, not like I have to pay a month in front or something. So it really gives this instant liquidity to people.
I've been stream pilled. So first, I get paid by a lot of by a couple DAOs for my work in streams. Next, I pay employees in streams. I use one of the protocols that I helped build, Ricochet Exchange, to invest in assets in streams. And then one thing, so specifically about gaming, I just thought of when you were talking about this like rental, I was thinking about that. And then as soon as you said it, I thought about another thing. There's a game, my favorite game is called Bloodborne. It's like on PS4. And in this game, as you're playing, you're kind of gaining like points. You can think of them as experience points. And the more of these experience points you have, the weirder the game gets. You start seeing things that weren't at the start. And what I think is, like, if you're specifically working in gaming, let's say you have a character, as soon as you start playing, you get paid in a stream. You get these token experience points in a stream. Every time you open the game and you're playing, you get streamed to. And as this amount accumulates, you can change the player's environment. And this could work the same way in Discord, for example. We do this in Discord, where we have different permissions. So if you open a stream to a certain amount a month, you get access to one of our channels. If you have a certain amount of points, let's say, you get access to another channel. And using it as a way to reward contributors and also reward just like users, I think is a great use case. I hope to see people do that. I think you should do that as Superfluid. I'm saying you should do a lot of things, but kind of opening some sort of stream to people with like just points to see how long they've been around and how long they've been participating. It's a cool use case.
Absolutely. And there's so much opportunity. And one of the biggest things is just adoption and like going out there, talking to these people and showcasing the utility and the benefits and implementing the technology. So we're on it, we're working on it, but obviously this will take time for sure.
Yeah, the cool thing is that if people have the to build them in the wave pool, this is just me shilling Superfluid for a bit. I really like the wave pool. I participated in it twice, and it's a cool idea. Like just keep rewarding people for building on top of your protocol. I think that's the one of the best things you guys do. All right, so last question. I'm very cognizant of your time. Thank you so much for being here. And I learned a lot. What do you want to see most in the future of Web3? What are you most excited about?
What I'm most excited about, I think I'm most excited about onboarding more users to this space in a way that they don't have this stigma around, oh, crypto and NFTs is a scam. Why should I go into it? Like really building out the use cases, building out the benefits and showing to people that, it actually benefits them and it's useful and it's good. And this is something that they can use in their everyday life. And what I see in the future happening is that crypto and Web3 will be in the back end so that, the real users, they might even not know that they're interacting on a blockchain and, having some NFTs and stuff like that. In my opinion, it should be as easily usable and very, very user friendly. But we're building it, and there's a huge talk around account abstraction as well. And I think this is one step towards more adoption and mass adoption, hopefully, to get more users interacting on the blockchain.
Yeah. So that's our biggest flaw, is that everybody built space are just like, they're more so like back-end developers than they are just like, I don't know, Web2 has had a lot of time to solidify like styles and design patterns, and we just haven't had that much time yet. So I think that there's a lot of money and a lot of benefit to be had in people going in and making the user experience easier and better and more simple to understand. I think my favorite product, well, MetaMask, but the next one is Safe. So the Gnosis Safe is what I think they changed their name recently to just Safe. This shared bank account that you could just, I'm in Poland, you're in, let's say America, some other people are in France, and we could just make a shared bank account and we can all have access to it. And we need to vote in order to spend money. I think that that's such a revolutionary idea, and it goes around so many different problems of like national bank restrictions and just like the slow reality of sending money abroad and the lack of control that people have over their finances. So I would really like to see some stuff happening there.
Absolutely. I love Safe as well. It's a really great product, really great idea. And the whole team behind Safe as well, they're really, really great what they're building. And yeah, kudos for them.
Have you guys done a wave pool with Safe yet?
Oh, do you want some early alpha?
Yes. I will definitely participate in anything you do with Safe.
Awesome. So yeah, I think you can look forward to the April wave because we are doing it together with Safe.
Good. I'll happily. That's gonna be great. I already have some ideas.
Amazing.
All right. Thank you so much, Vikiii, for being here. I'm going to leave your personal links and the links for Superfluid in the description of this podcast. So if you guys are interested and you want to support this podcast, just please take a look. It's some great stuff, and we'll see you in the next one. Invest smarter, not harder. Ricochet Exchange helps you dollar cost average into cryptocurrencies, including ETH and Bitcoin. By dollar cost averaging, you increase your potential returns and reduce market volatility. It is an easy way to invest, and it is mostly automated. All you need is a cryptocurrency wallet like MetaMask and Coinbase, and you can connect to Ricochet Exchange. The links will be in the description. You can start a stream to any of the tokens. If you need support or help, you can contact me directly, and my links will be in the description. Thank you for listening, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.